You can hear me just fine?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay. You need my age verification real quick, or?
Are you over the age of 18?
I'm 18 exactly. My birthday just
Oh,
passed.
okay. You wanted to say that. Okay.
I just wanted to make it clear before I get kicked. Okay. Yeah.
Did
So
you just turn 18?
yeah. So like I just turned 18.
Well, congratulations. I remember now. If you see chat, they're a bunch of old goons. They don't remember when you go from 17 to 18. You just like saying I'm 18, right?
Yeah. Like just rub it in, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's go. Okay. Why should I believe in God?
Well, let's get. I know oftentimes religions like falsified what God truly is, so I'll attempt to define God real quick. What I think God is, because hold like a classical deism point of view. I believe God is like holding the existential prosody of obviously a necessity of a being, and also the property of omnipotence. He's also gonna theorize to be above the three-dimensional tier, obviously. But yeah, that's what I
Okay.
define God as.
Okay. Why do you believe in such a thing?
I believe in such like a God of that nature is because I believe it would be necessary for him to exist based off like
Why?
multiple lines of argument. Are you aware what modal logic is, Danny? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
my name's also Danny, by the way. Sorry.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so you know what modal logic is. Obviously, the four characteristics are going to be possibility, impossibility, contingent, and what's the last one?
Necessary.
Necessary, yeah. The one that I'm arguing for, I forget, obviously. But yeah, so basically, modal logic oftentimes has the axiom logic as well combined and construed into it as well, right? So we got different sets of axiom logic. It's S1 to S5, I believe. Today, I'm just going to be using S3 because I find it the most like precaution to use here.
Is S5 the most common?
S5 is definitely the most common, yeah.
Okay, so you're using S3. I don't know enough about modal logic, but to know what's going on here, but I'll hear you out.
Yeah, so S3 axioms, if I recall correctly, basically just states that if something holds the existential property of necessity, well, it doesn't directly say that, I'm just giving you an indirect implication of basically what it states. Okay, so basically S3 modal logic or S3 axioms basically states if something would hypothetically hold the property of necessity of a being, and obviously he'll be possible to exist, then he must exist in a possible, not a possible world, or a parallel world, such as our own. And I don't believe in possible world theory, so we would just minimize it to the actual world, such as our universe, and not frame it to our mind.
You don't think there are any possible worlds?
I don't believe in possible world theory.
Wait, when you say possible, you're a necessitarian?
Sort of a necessarianism.
Well, then everything is necessary. I'm necessary. God is necessary. This pen is necessary.
Or necessarianism doesn't hold necessarianism like value in the way of necessity controlling everything.
No. But on necessitarianism, there's one world, the actual one. So if necessary means exist in all possible worlds, or if a necessary truth is something that's true in all possible worlds, anything that's true in the actual world is going to be true in all possible worlds.
Yes.
So that means every fact, everything is necessary.
That's why I said I hold a view close or similar to necessarianism. I doesn't hold it exactly. But
No,
basically,
that is exactly. If you,
Yeah.
how many worlds are there? How many worlds are there?
how many?
One, right?
One?
Yeah.
Like-
And that's the actual world, right?
Yeah, Earth.
Okay, so that means necessary.
Okay.
Necessary just means exist in all possible worlds, right?
Yes, but I
in this
don't
case,
believe
there's
in-
only one.
Well, that's the thing. If I don't believe in parallel world theory or possible world theory or even like the universal theory, I would just minimize it to
Well,
one
you
actual world.
understand that there's one that on the actual world is a possible world,
No,
right?
no, I would think it's actual world. Possible is something that may happen.
No, but look, the idea is that we can say things like the possible future, right? We talk about possibility within the context of like it's possible that tomorrow I'll eat breakfast, and if I end up eating breakfast, then the actual world was the possible world that I was talking about a day before.
So whenever I hear the words possible world theory, I usually think of a different entirely world where a subset of the vision is made where the possibility of oppositional view would actually exist.
Okay, I think it's semantic in nature, but what's going on is you think there's one world.
I think there's one actuality of a world, such as Earth, where we
Right.
actually can have consciousness, yes.
Okay, so then I'm gonna get rid of possible. Then there's one world.
No. But possible. Wait. I'm sorry to cut you off, Danny. But possible
That's fine.
does exist. Possible world theory doesn't, because I think possible world theory just simply means another construment of a world that is either pointing at oppositional views to our actual world or holding a negation to our actual worlds.
I don't think it's going to make a difference either way. But I'm pointing out, if you think there's only one world, then all facts are going to be necessary. If the necessary fact is just something that's true in all worlds, that's as simple as it gets. But let's continue. What does it have to do with God?
Well, yeah. So if God holds the essential property of necessity of a being, hypothetically, obviously, I wouldn't grant the fact. So if God holds the essential property of a necessary of a being, and it's possible for God to exist, S3 axioms basically shows the confirmation of God actually existing and the actualization of the world. That's why I said I minimize it, my fault, to our world specifically.
This is an ontological. You're running an ontological argument then.
You said an ontological argument?
Yeah, this is an ontological argument.
Sort of.
Yeah. So, I first of all, I'm not quite sure what it means for a concrete thing. That's to say, a thing that engages in causal relations, to have a property like necessity.
So they got like two strict terms for necessity. I'm pretty sure the general Oxford definition is something that is always will, and then you got the other encyclopedia definition, which is something to be significant of happening.
Look, in the sense of necessity that you're using,
the first one I would be using, so like it has to happen, has to occur.
Yeah, but that has to happen, necessary. These are all synonyms. The question is, what modal type are you talking about? You're talking about logical modal type?
I guess it will be closely related to logical modal type, yeah.
But I need to know if it is or if it's not.
Well, what do you think logical modal type is exactly, so we understand each other?
Well, there's a certain kind of logic you have in mind, right? With a certain starting set of axioms, or logical truths. Those are going to be necessarily true. And so if you think that this God is necessary, that means that it follows from those axioms that this being exists. But classical logic doesn't have such an entailment, so that means that the notion of necessity that you have in mind can't be a logical modal type. It has to be either a metaphysical modal type or a nomological or physical.
Okay. I guess it would closely relate to metaphysical modal type then.
Yeah. So, but then I'm not so sure what I'm very skeptical of the modal types in between the logical and nomological type.
Nomological.
I don't even know what that's supposed to be.
So nomological, you're referencing at I would suppose nature, laws, and everything, right? Okay,
exactly.
So cool.
Yeah.
So whenever I would reference metaphysical modal type or metaphysics modal logic, it would probably be something obviously non-perceivable to us, since metaphysics is dealing with conceptual nature, sometimes nomology in itself, the branch of nomological, or even just abstractions and everything. To my understanding.
So wait. But there's no conceptual entailment or conceptual necessity is a form of logical necessity, as I understand it.
I wouldn't know myself.
Look. The point is that, if it's a logical truth that bachelors are unmarried, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, and that's a conceptual truth as well.
Well, yeah, obviously.
So, metaphysical necessity can't be about conceptual entailment.
That's why I said abstraction. So I specified multiple things. I said nomology, such as the nomological nature of laws and everything. Then I said abstraction and conception.
Then you're saying God is physically necessary.
No, I said he's non-physical. Abstraction is non-physical.
Yeah, so then it's not going to be nomological.
Yes.
Because you think nomological modality to be physical modality.
Yes, wait, but it would be metaphysical modality in a sense, because it's referencing a subset of what metaphysics is. They deal with abstraction as well.
No, look. Yeah, I understand what logical modality is. I understand what nomological modality is, as being construed in terms of non-logical laws, okay? But you're appealing to something called metaphysical modality, and to me, it's unintelligible, because I'm not so sure what the constraints are of this modal type, such that I know that, something like God is necessary and something like the universe isn't.
So, okay, so you're basically asking me exactly what? Sorry. You just want me to give you a quick definement of metaphysical modal logic?
You're using a certain sense of metaphysical necessity that applies to God, okay, but doesn't apply to the universe, which means that you have criteria in mind by which God is a necessary thing and the universe isn't. That criteria can't be in the form of a logical set of axioms and can't be in the form of a set of physical truths either. So what criteria are you appealing to such that God is necessary, not the universe?
So I never said the universe is not necessary. I believe it's significant.
Okay, so we don't need. So God is why? Okay, now we can just run an Oppian concern, right? Because you're saying that. Are you saying that
wouldn't
the universe is necessary too?
It would theoretically be significant, yeah, by necessary.
So everything is. We're going back to okay. Everything is necessary.
Not everything. You can list multiple things that aren't necessary.
What wouldn't be necessary on your view?
Sure, eating like cereal with a spoon would be a necessary criteria.
Okay, so why wouldn't that be metaphysically necessary?
Why wouldn't that be metaphysically necessary? Because the conception was already in denial of itself.
I have no idea what you just said.
So the concept of eating cereal with a spoon is in denial of itself. You could eat it with a fork if you really want to.
Now you're taking a step back and falling back on a logical concern. Right, but you're talking about metaphysical necessity.
Yeah, and that's what I argue, because I said metaphysical, like by the branch of metaphysical, to my understanding, I gave 3 specifications of what I think it is. I said nomology, which is related to nomological in nature of laws.
No, I said conception. Look, remember, again, you're there. Look, maybe this diagram will help you, okay? Because so let me. If you go to the SEP, there's a diagram on modal types. And I'm telling you what you can't appeal to kind of make sense of what you're trying to say. Let me find this. It's either modal types or metaphysical modality. Let's say modal types. I'm gonna show the whole chat this. That way they can understand what's going on here. Okay, here we go. The epistemology modality. So I have the picture right here. Let me just reverse my camera. Okay. So here it is, chat. You're getting an education now. Let me revert. How do I do this? Do I hit more? Flip camera? Okay, perfect. Okay. Y'all can see this, right? Okay. So, I understand logical modality. I understand nomological modality, aka physical modality. But then there's this weird in between that some philosophers accept. Okay, metaphysical. So we have logical necessity, which you have metaphysical necessity, and you have physical necessity. Okay, so I'm asking you, what are the parameters by which something is metaphysically necessary versus metaphysically contingent?
Yeah, so nomological structures such as laws of nature wouldn't fit in
That's going to be here.
Wait, no, it can't be there, because laws of nature aren't physical. Like, laws in the court system aren't physical, they're abstract.
The point is that the necessity of something being, if a physical structure is necessary, or if there's some kind of necessary outcome, that's going to be in virtue of these nomological structures, right? Now, the nomological structures themselves are not going to be logically necessary, and I don't see in virtue of what they would be metaphysically necessary either.
That makes no sense, though, Danny, because metaphysical and logical necessity also can induce physicality in itself. The universe.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The universe, yeah, sure. The universe obviously wouldn't fit inside the diagram of physical necessity. It would either fit inside metaphysical necessity or logical necessity. And we know that the universe either supplements things or induces.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with saying if you're including laws of nature in the universe, then fine.
No. But this is what I'm saying. I'm saying that they're gonna induce something, and all will follow a metaphysical diagram, no matter what. If they're just conceptual, because
what you just said was gibberish. I don't know what you got. You got to be very clear about what you're saying.
Sure, I'll say it again. If any of them can involve in some physicality inducement, meaning they're going to...
I don't know what that means.
Okay, sure. Induce just simply means to add on an inference that is going to logically follow a primary conclusion. So that's just like inductive reasoning.
This is all gibberish. Look, where are you getting this from?
Okay, sure, Danny. Inductive reasoning. Do you know what that is?
That has no place in this conversation.
That does, because I'm using inductions.
You can't use inductive reasoning to establish necessity.
No, that's not what I meant. Danny, I'm establishing that they follow.
You understand?
Wait, no. I'm establishing that they follow.
Let me clarify.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me clarify. Again, remember the question I'm asking you. I'm asking you in virtue of what is something metaphysically necessary rather than metaphysically contingent? What are the criteria by which you're establishing something as metaphysically necessary, in other words? You can't appeal to induction there, because induction will never get you necessity.
Okay, the question I was answering was before, whenever you referenced that nomology or nomological laws in nature fit the requirement of physical.
No. What I understand the physical domain or modal type is to be a set of laws that are non-logical, nomological, right? Mm-hmm. That establish necessity in what we call the natural world, right?
Mm-hmm. So what was your question again before? Why does it basically?
Well, I want to know. I want to know the criteria by which something is metaphysically necessary rather than metaphysically contingent.
Okay. What do you think metaphysical contingent means?
Well, I think it's all gibberish.
You think it's all gibberish? Okay.
I don't accept
the
this.
criteria. So
Look.
Go ahead.
1 second. I only understand logical and nomological or physical. This is a controversial space of modality that I am not inclined to accept. I think it's gibberish.
So basically, I think I already defined metaphysical like necessity earlier, but I'll go ahead and do it again. So obviously the definement of metaphysical, like the branch of philosophy, is going to be in this like definition that I'm about to give. So basically, what I define metaphysical to be, right, is anything that is theorized to be abstract, conceptual, and I include things such as nomology, law.
No, so far,
wait.
abstractions, concepts, I take that to be in the logical domain.
But it fits under metaphysical as well. Like I'm saying, but
not according to this diagram.
This diagram's wrong. That's what I've been saying the whole time.
Oh, the diagram is wrong. I don't think I'm going to waste my time with you.
I mean, would you like to prove the diagram? You're stating the fact that it's right.
I don't think I'm going to waste my time with you.